99.9 KISW.
I would assume you could see across.
To Portugal or Spain?
To Spain. I would think, but maybe not. But it's a very small little opening there. So
teeny tiny opening.
If you went down to like Ibiza or something like that and then you want to go smoke some hash, I mean, that would be crazy. You go to an island with a bunch of naked young Spaniards and then you hop on a boat, go over and smoke a bunch of hash.
Kind of sounds perfect. You know what I mean?
Like if you are going to go on a vacation there, it seems like that would be the place to go.
That's all they would have to put. You know, everywhere else, all those big flowery things you can do, just like naked Spaniards in their 20s, hop on a ferry, get drunk. Like, all right, let's book the trip.
If you can't smoke weed in Amsterdam anymore, what's the point? I mean, other than you're going there to hook up with, I don't know.
Yeah, they're losing business because of that.
Prostitution, but I mean, hell, why not just go to Ibiza and see naked women for free and then go smoke hash in Morocco?
Well, the sad thing about Amsterdam is I get where the one party's coming from, saying we don't want to be known for this, but on the same token,
you are.
But my point is to redo those rules is a mistake. It was working. You know what I mean? For all drugs, like
right.
You can hear whatever you want from people that want to propaganda. Forgot an R there.
Propaganda.
People who want to propagate. People who want to propagate.
My name is Propaganda.
You know, Papa Smurf, propaganda.
I am propaganda.
But it was working, man. It's a good idea.
Of course it works. It's like, well, we don't want to be known for this, but you will always be known for that, man. A lot of people don't want to be known for a lot of things, but, too late now. What do they say, man? They have sex with one sheep. Guess what you're going to be known for? Right. You did it one time, but there you go. So keep having sex with sheep, is my point. A couple of texts came in from 77999. Says, I can't believe I saw my wife cook dinner. Question is that a good thing or a bad thing? A girl I hooked up with shaved her pubic hair to say, do me.
Nice.
That's as easy as it gets. And Mono Nick will be opening the comedy tour. BJ announced it this morning on his show.
That's outstanding. We did not know that.
I'm sure Mono Nick is so excited you couldn't hear it in his voice.
Yes.
Hello, Ashley. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how's it going?
Hola.
Okay, so this is not a drug-induced site, unfortunately, but I was about 7 or 8 years old, and I was in my bedroom, and my sister was with me, who's a couple years older than I, and we were across from where the bedroom window was, and we were going to bed in our bunk beds, and all of a sudden, the blinds, which were like Venetian blinds, pulled up out of nowhere. Nobody else was in the room. And, for blinds to pull up, you have to, pull down on the string.
Understood.
So it was pretty crazy, and we still talk about it to this day. We were both, petrified. And I was like, Brittany? She was like, yeah. And she was like, and I was like, did you see that? She was like, yeah. And we just didn't say another word the entire night because we were both scared out of our mind. But that was kind of more of a ghost story, I guess you'd say.
Actually, let me tell you the difference between boys and girls. The blinds go up on their own. Ashley, yeah, did you see that? Yeah. Boys, holy F, did you see that, F? Yeah, man, goddamn, get the hell out of the bedroom. Jesus Christ, shoot the window. That would have been our reaction to the same thing.
We were so petrified. It was just such a freaky thing, as a kid, when you get scared, sometimes you freeze. And, in a little kid's mind, you think, if I say something or I do something, that ghost is going to come get me. So we were scared stiff, literally.
Right, the ghost would just have to come get me in a different room.
Yeah, did you ever find out which creepy neighbor it was?
No, it was so weird though. It was across the room from us, and yeah, you can't just pull the blinds up. You know what I mean? The blinds just don't pull up. It's not something, gravity can't do that. So it's pretty freaky. We still talk about it to this day. So.
All right. That's very strange.
That is very strange. Again, why you stay in the room, I don't know.
I told you, man. I had a buddy that I used to work with who's as straight as an arrow as could possibly be. He doesn't fall for any of that crap. And he married a woman whose parents were from Gettysburg, and they lived in a 1800 old home. And his wife had always swore that there was a ghost in the basement kind of thing. The Gettysburg deal. It's a ghost town and a half. So he doesn't believe any of this crap. And he came back and he's like, remember what I told you, what he said about the ghost? He's like, I saw it. He's like, I hate to admit it, I saw it. He's like, you're the fourth person I've told, man.
Y'all freaked out?
Don't think I'm weird, man. He's like, there's a ghost in the house. I'm like, he's like, man, you know me. He's like, why would I say this? He's like, do you really think I wanted to believe my wife? And I'm like, are you sure it could? He's like, there's no other way it could have been anything else. I'm like, what did it look like? It was a white blur. Okay.
Yeah. Gettysburg's pretty spooky, man.
Well, sure. Half of it's because people keep telling you, so no matter what, you're kind of creeped out when you're there.
Right. And then if you know the history of what and where you're standing sometimes at dusk, it's just weird. You know? Knowing that kind of fighting was going on right there.
Why are they always in the basement? Like you're a ghost. You can be anywhere you want. It's like it's always in the basement.
Or the attic.
Why wouldn't they hang out in the living room and watch TV with you?
Because they kind of spook people out. So that wouldn't, if a ghost just came in, if it's Casper, that's a friendly-ass ghost, they wouldn't have the same
I believe that is the actual quote, friendly-ass ghost, yes.
Yeah, they wouldn't have the same, kind of thing about it. They wouldn't be ghosts anymore. They'd just be like, but you know, man,
I'm in the basement. But here's the weird thing about
Are you cheering for the Celtics ghost?
It's the only Civil War spot that actually, they keep doing that stuff. Like, I live pretty close to, I don't know, Antietam, Sharpsburg, a number of other places where they had some battles, and Antietam was a pretty bloody day, but
the bloodiest one day ever.
There's no West Virginia going like, there's ghosts in this town. They're like, we got tourists coming in, man. We're going to take them for all they're worth. They don't really think about it. There's no ghost stories there, which is they could probably market that aspect of it, but they don't.
Maybe. I've been to a bunch of them, and I'll tell you, I was down at a place called, I think it was the Wilderness. It's where Stonewall Jackson got shot by his own men. But anyhow, same thing. It was like dusk, man. And it was spooky down there too, man.
Where was the Blair Witch Project film? What was the name of that little town?
Some with a B.
It was up towards Fredericksburg, but it wasn't.
Either way, they survive on that. Even to this day, there's still hardcore fans that go like on Halloween and go to the woods and swear they see stuff and everything. Blairsville, I don't know, something.
Blainsburg, something. I don't remember.
Not Blainsburg.
And don't tell me for 1 minute that people don't go to Forks and think the same thing.
Yeah, well, I don't think they think they see vampires, but Forks is making money off of Twilight.
Yeah, weird.
Which is amazing.
I think anything that's old automatically gives you that kind of spooky feel.
Well, sure, it's all decrepit looking and everything, man. My freaking cousins, they live, they're in Manassas, Virginia, but where their house was built, like I'd seen this every time I was there, and I never really thought about it. My cousin's telling me this as we're going to bed, but it's like you look out his window, and in their backyard, it's this crumbling stone fireplace. And it's like, oh, yeah, they built all these houses on top of, whatever settlement was here before.
Oh,
I'm
great.
like, Jesus Christ, man. So you just stared at this chimney like, this is the freakiest goddamn thing in the world. And there's nothing weird about the house at all. Nothing. But every time you turn off the lights, you just look out the window and you stare at this thing and you freak yourself out.
Dude, I knew a girl, and her parents were like, had old school money in Maryland. And I forget where the house was. It was, somewhere out there in Baltimore County where it kind of gets rural and everything. Mm-hmm. The property was giant. And we were eating crabs out there one day. And I'm in the kitchen. I'm like, what is that little door? And I guess back in the day, the house was a stop on the Underground Railroad. And I mean, you open that door, I was like, I'm not going in there.
What was it, like a walkway down underneath floorboards?
Yeah. This was the middle of the day, and I was like, I ain't going in there. I was like, that looks spooky as hell.
How big was the opening?
Was there any pun intended there, man?
How big was the opening?
Was it spooky?
Was it small
spooky,
opening?
Ted, really?
Yeah, I mean, like,
not scary,
I don't know, like
but
the
spooky.
height of the counter. Like, that's where the doors
was it like a little box?
Yeah, and there was, you would never, it was the Underground Railroad. You weren't supposed to notice it.
You know for a fact Harriet Tubman was never there. She was way too fat to fit that hole.
Was she?
Oh, yeah, she was a big woman.
Big girl.
That's funny. I know a lot about history. I did not know Harriet Tubman
down
was
the
fat.
street, man.
Frederick Douglass, he could have jumped in the hole. Harriet, you'd have to grease her up a little bit to try to push her down in there. Somebody to jump on top of her.
I think... for a few years, when I was a kid, I was convinced there was an actual railroad.
I think everybody, because that's what they called it,
And then the other one, and this was bad, is I was a teen... I was out of high school. And we were driving down to go to watch a Maryland game down at Wake Forest. That's what I said to my brother and sister. I go, so are we on Tobacco Road?
Oh, my God.
Are we on it now?
I just figured
it's a phrase. It's not an actual road.
I just figured the first time you rode the D.C. Metro, you kind of figured it was the Underground Railroad.
Up on the subway. There it is.
Yeah.
So all the black people get from one place to another.
It just don't lead to freedom.
This and Greyhound.
Burkittsville. That was the name of the place for Blair Witch. Thank you, Ben.
What are you pretty damn sure you saw, or what's the most unbelievable thing you know you've seen? 206-421-ROCK, 800-783.
The D.C. subway. That is, in fact, the Underground Railroad. Hello, Jake. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
So you guys will be pretty happy to know that I have video proof of what I saw.
I already don't believe you.
I figured you wouldn't. But I live in South Everett, like Mill Creek, and I was looking out my window one night, just, playing Xbox, and I just happened to look out my window, and I saw what almost looked like a plane that was flying right at my house, pretty high up there. And it was flashing multiple colors like red, blue, and purple and green. And it would always go back to white. So I actually ran out and got my camera and went downstairs and filmed it. And it happened a second time later on. But that night I was filming, and all of a sudden it disappeared. And then I heard a really loud, like, it almost sounded inhuman scream. And it's actually on video.
The scream was coming from the spaceship, or do you think somebody saw it as well in the neighborhood and screamed?
Oh, dude, I have no idea, but it sounded like it was coming from down the road. And in the video, you can hear me flip out and scream like a little girl and just run inside.
Well, I'm pretty sure you're used to seeing a lot of stuff in the air in that area anyway from Boeing Field, right?
Yeah, it's not so much that close to the Boeing Field as most people think.
Okay.
Well, why don't you send us the video?
What's that?
Can you send us the video?
Yeah, I can send you the video.
That'd be great. We'd like to see that.
I think you probably just see a lot of strange stuff there because it's Mill Creek.
I just want to hear you scream like a girl.
That's really why we want to see this.
Yeah, shoot it over, man. We'll take a look at it.
All right, man.
We'll let you know if it's authentic or not, because that's what we do.
All right, that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. All right, right on, man.
Can we, if we're going to authenticate videos, can we start vetting people as well?
Yeah, I think it goes through the same thing. I said we look at their video and then we interview them first. We want to say, look, we want you to know that we have no particular expertise when it comes to vetting people seeing UFOs, because no one really does. What do you? When it comes down to it, like, look, we can't. The authenticating a video entirely different. That we can't do. But as far as vetting someone who thinks they've seen a UFO, we have as much expertise as anyone else who's talked to someone who's vetted them to see if they really believe they saw a UFO.
Well, the bottom line is it's an unidentified flying object.
Right.
So if we just determine it's unidentified and it's flying at an object, well, then we're pretty well on the money.
You saw a UFO. You are correct.
It could be a plane, but if you can't identify it, it's unidentified.
Correct.
We could also use some of that forensic science. It's never actually been proven.
Yes. What are you pretty damn sure you saw, or what's the most unbelievable thing you know you've seen? 206-421-ROCK, 800-783-ROCK.
Here we go. Hello, Wesley. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
How's it going, guys?
Doing good, man. It's Friday, 3-day weekend.
Oh, yeah. I don't get a weekend. That's okay.
Ah, we do.
Lucky.
And we're talking about us. I mean, really, it's completely self. We're saying, like, we are about to enjoy 3 days off. Oh, the barbecue.
We've been working a lot this month.
Meat. Absolutely.
Oh.
Last week, my God.
We killed it.
We really did.
You guys are lucky.
Yeah.
So, my story is, when I was a kid, I was about 13 and my brother was about 9. We had a UFO, like, drop down right by our sliding glass window and kind of go off. We were, like, 3 feet away from it.
3 feet away?
Literally. My brother.
So you guys were were you in your room?
We were in the living room playing a video game late at night.
So you're saying like aliens are pedophiles? They peek through a window at children playing a video game.
Unless the pedophiles have like a giant ball that glows orange.
They will tell you that they do
so was that all
and
you
offer
saw?
to show it to you.
Was that all you saw was a giant orange ball? Check out my orange ball.
What's that to my trench coat, kids?
Yeah, that was it. It was big. I mean, it was big.
Were you the only people, you and your brother, who saw it? Did anybody else see it?
No, it was just me and him. And we were, like, petrified. We didn't want to move. We're afraid to, like, get snatched out of our house or something.
And how old's your brother now?
He is 23.
So if you're sitting down at the bar and you bring this up, he's still freaked out by it? He remembers it and everything?
He does not talk about it.
He doesn't talk about it, so he can't even corroborate your story if you wanted to tell a tall tale.
He refuses to talk about it every time.
How old were you?
I was 13 and he was 9.
Did your dad have like a meth lab in the backyard or anything? Did he come in with his eyebrows gone?
Actually, so my dad doesn't do any of that crap. He puts out meth labs.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just this giant, enormous, like ominous, glowing orange ball that just dropped down right by our sliding glass window and flew off into the distance.
And your brother won't talk about it.
Refuses to talk about it. Okay. Every time I bring it up to him, like if we're at a party or something, and I'll be like, "Do you remember this?" He's like, kind of gets all white in the face and goes, "No, I don't remember it."
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why is he such a pee about it?
Do what?
So why is he such a pee about it?
I have no idea. I have no idea. it's just something that freaked him out, I guess, and he just decided not to ever talk about it.
You know what you should do on Halloween? Dress up as a glowing orange ball.
That'd be fun.
It's a bunch of